You're in a drive-thru. Nothing special, just grabbing food on the way home after a long day. You tap your card for a $13 combo meal and you feel something. Not because $13 is a lot of money. It's not. But your car payment hit this morning. 700 and something dollars. Insurance came out 2 days ago. Gas wasn't cheap this week either. And now a $13 meal suddenly feels like a decision you need to think about. You're sitting in this car that's supposed to represent how well you're doing, how far you've come, and you can't even grab dinner without doing math in your head. And here's the part that really stings. You look down at the steering wheel and you don't even feel anything for this car anymore. That rush you had when you first drove it off the lot? Gone. The excitement when you showed it to your friends? Gone. The only thing that's stuck around is the payment. That shows up every single month like clockwork. The thrill left. The bill didn't. If that feels familiar, even a little bit, don't go anywhere. Because today we're breaking down the real math behind what you can actually afford to drive based on what you actually earn. Not what the dealership says you can afford. Not what your loan approval says. The real number. And I'll warn you right now, it's probably way lower than what's sitting in your driveway. We're also going to get into why that gap exists, what it's silently costing you in long-term wealth, and what the smartest move you can make with your next car actually looks like. Now here's what most people do when they start feeling that squeeze. They think the problem is somewhere in the deal, like maybe I should refinance, maybe I can trade this in and get something with a lower monthly, maybe I stretch the loan out a couple more years to bring the payment down. Basically, rearrange the furniture on a sinking ship and hope the water stops coming in. But that doesn't fix anything. The interest rate was never your real problem. The loan term was never your real problem. The real problem is the weight. You picked up a financial weight that was never designed for your income, and nobody stopped you. Because nobody in the entire car buying chain makes money by telling you the truth. The dealer earns on the sale. The bank earns on the interest. The manufacturer earns on the volume. Everybody eats, except you. You just wanted a car that didn't make you feel like you were falling behind everyone else. And that's the trap, because keeping up is the most expensive game in America, and your car is the entry ticket. But what if I told you the people who actually have money, real money, don't play that game at all? And I don't mean social media money. I don't mean leased G-Wagon parked outside a shared apartment money. I mean people who could buy any car on the lot in cash and not blink. They're choosing not to, on purpose. And there's a very specific reason why. That's what we're unpacking today. And none of this is financial advice. I'm not your advisor. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. This is just a wide-angle, honest look at how cars and money really interact in everyday life. Cool? Cool. I'm Blake. And this is what we do here. We have the money conversations that nobody had with us. Not in school, not at home, not at the dealership. The stuff that actually changes how you think about every dollar that leaves your account. If you've watched this channel before, you already know what's up. And if this is your first time here, subscribe, because I'm genuinely confident the stuff we talk about here will save you more real money over your lifetime than any coupon code or cashback trick ever will. That's not a line. You'll see it for yourself over the next few videos. All right, let's get into it. What can you actually afford to drive? Sounds like a simple question. It's not. Because the answer your dealership gives you and the real answer are two completely different things. The dealership's definition of affordable is whatever the bank approves. That's it. Loan went through? Congrats. You can afford it. Sign here. That's like saying you can afford a 5-star restaurant every night because your credit card hasn't been declined yet. Sure, the transaction goes through. But your financial life is falling apart behind the scenes. So here's the real framework. It's called the 24-10 rule. And honestly, this might be the single most useful thing you hear all week. 20% down, 4-year loan maximum. And your total car costs, payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, all of it, should be no more than 10% of your gross monthly income. That's your actual ceiling. Everything above it is weight you're not built to carry. Now watch what happens when you plug in real salaries. You make $40,000 a year, you can afford a car that costs $12,000 to $15,000. That's it. Not 30, not 25, 15 max. 60,000, 18 to 22, 80,000, 25 to 30. 100,000 a year, The number everyone treats like the promised land? $30,000 to $38,000. That's your ceiling at six figures. Now think about this. The average new car in America right now? Over $48,000. The average American household take-home? About $59,000. So the average person is driving a car that costs almost their entire annual income after taxes. That's not a flex. That's slow-motion financial drowning with leather seats and a touchscreen. And here's where it gets wild. Research that's been consistent for decades shows that the average verified millionaire drives a car that's a few years old and completely paid off. Not a new BMW, not a leased Audi, a paid-off, practical, boring car. Because the people who actually have the money understand something the rest of us don't. The car isn't the reward. The car is the cost. The people with money don't spend it on cars. The people without money do. Sit with that for a second. Now let me show you the part that nobody explains to people, and it genuinely drives me crazy. Because this one thing is silently eating your wealth alive, and you can't even see it happening. Depreciation. You know how when you buy a cup of coffee it starts getting cold the second you pour it? You didn't do anything wrong. It's just what happens. Well, a new car works the same way, except instead of losing heat, it's losing money. The second you drive off the lot, that car drops roughly 20% in value. On a $45,000 car, that's $9,000 gone before you even get to the first red light. You didn't crash it, you didn't scratch it, you just owned it. And it cost you $9,000. Within 5 years, it's lost around 60%. That $45,000 car is now worth maybe $18,000. But you're still making payments on the original price. Let's do the full math. You finance $45,000 at 7% over 6 years. By the end of that loan, you've paid about $54,000 total. The car's now worth maybe $15,000. You burned through $39,000. That money didn't build anything, didn't grow, didn't turn into something. It just vanished. And here's the part that should keep you up tonight. That $39,000 didn't just disappear. It had somewhere better to be. Say, instead of that $45,000 car, you bought a solid, reliable used car for $15,000. That leaves you with $30,000 that didn't go into a depreciating machine. You put that $30,000 into a basic index fund. You don't touch it. Gee, at roughly 10% a year, which is the historical average of the S&P 500, here's what happens. In 10 years, that turns into about $78,000. In 20 years, around $200,000. In 30 years, over $500,000, $500,000, from one car decision. Your car choice at 28 years old could literally be the difference between retiring at 55 and grinding till 67. Same salary, same job, same everything else. One person just drove a nicer car, the other one built real wealth. So if the math is this clear, why does everyone keep making the wrong choice? Because nobody buys a car with a calculator. They buy it with their emotions. Think about it. You're at work. 2 people on your team make the same salary. One drives a brand new Challenger. Matte black, loud, turns heads in the parking lot. The other drives a 7-year-old Accord. Nobody notices it. Everyone in the building assumes Challenger guy is winning. It's automatic. We see a nice car, and our brain just fills in the story. He must be doing well. He must be smart with money. He's got his stuff figured out. But the real story? Challenger guy has $1,100 a month going out the door between his payment, insurance, gas, and maintenance. Accord guy? $200. And the other $900 is going straight into investments, silently compounding, every single month. In 10 years, Accord guy is putting in his 2 weeks to go live on his own terms. Challenger guy is still at the same desk, still making the same payment, still waiting on the next raise. And nobody in the office can figure out how it happened. Because they were looking at the wrong thing the whole time. Real wealth doesn't park in the lot. It doesn't rev at stoplights. It doesn't get likes. It grows in accounts that nobody sees, quietly building options that no car could ever give you. And the car industry knows this. They're not selling you a machine that moves. They're selling you a feeling. The feeling of someone seeing you pull up. The whole business runs on perception, not function. Then there's the financing trick. 84-month loans exist now, 7 years of payments. Those weren't created because cars need 7 years to pay off. They were created because cars got so expensive that regular people couldn't afford them in a normal time frame. So the industry didn't lower the price. They just stretched the pain thinner. The average loan term is 68 months now. 10 years ago, it was 48. Same cars, longer chains, and social media poured gasoline on all of it. Everyone posts the car. Nobody posts the loan. You see the Benz on your feed, but you never see the checking account behind it. You're comparing your real financial life to someone else's highlight reel. And then you walk into a dealership and make a 20-year financial decision based on a picture that was probably taken in front of someone else's car. All right, enough about the problem. Here's the actual play. Buy a car that's 2 to 4 years old with low mileage, certified pre-owned if you can swing it. Because someone else already took the worst depreciation hit for you. They paid full price to be first. You show up 2 years later, get the same car, same tech, same reliability, and save thousands. Real example. A brand new Toyota Camry costs about 32 grand. A 2-year-old Camry with 25,000 miles, 22 to 24, same engine, same bulletproof reliability. You saved $8,000 to $10,000 because someone else needed to be the first name on the title. Best bets: Camry, Accord, Mazda 3 for sedans, RAV4, CR-V, CX-5 if you need more room, Tacoma or Maverick if you genuinely need a truck. None of those will get your heart racing, but boring on the road means exciting in the bank account. That's a trade I'll take every single time. Now this last part is the one that makes it all undeniable. No opinions, no philosophy, just two people and a calculator. Two guys, same age, same salary, 70 grand a year, same city, same rent, same bills, everything identical. One decision is different. Guy 1 finances a $45,000 car, $734 a month, 72 months, trades in every 5 years, does the same thing over and over, invests $200 a month when he can. Guy 2 buys an $18,000 used car in cash, no car payment. Takes that $734 and invests it. $934 total per month going into the market. Same salary, same life, one different choice. 20 years go by. Guy 1's portfolio, about $153,000. Guy 2's portfolio, $713,000. The gap, $560,000. Same paycheck, same job, same neighborhood. The only difference is one of them drove a nicer car. Guy 2 can retire early. He can walk away from a job he hates. He can take a risk on himself. He can handle anything that life throws at him without a second of panic. Guy 1 has a nice car and a quiet fear of layoffs. And the most absurd part? Nobody at their job even remembers what Guy 1 drives. They saw it once, said, "Oh, nice," and went back to thinking about their own stuff. That's it. That's what he traded $500,000 for. A compliment that lasted 3 seconds from someone who forgot it before lunch. Look, I'm not telling you to go suffer in some broken-down car held together with duct tape. That's not the point. The point is your next car decision is bigger than a car. It's a direction. It either quietly pushes you toward the life you actually want, or it pulls you away from it every single month without you noticing. A car has one job: get you from where you are to where you need to be. And if where you need to be is financially free, the cheapest reliable car you can find gets you there faster than anything else. So next time you feel that itch, the urge to upgrade, the pull to walk onto a lot, the voice that says you deserve more, just stop for 10 seconds. Run the numbers. See what that payment could become in 20 years. And ask yourself one honest question. Am I doing this for my future? Or for the person in the next lane who won't remember my car by the time the light turns green? The car you can actually afford won't turn heads, won't get likes, won't get nods at the gas station. But the life it lets you build, the options, the freedom, the ability to sleep at night knowing your money is growing instead of disappearing, that's worth more than any badge on any hood. Drive smart, stack smart. I'll see you in the next one.